Hey, Turner, we're getting ready to get started, all right? Turner, I know you're the problem back there.
Hey, we're taking care of this work back here.
You stay out of that till I get back here, Turner.
That's the important stuff back here. All right. I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Liberty Union-Thurston Board of Education being held on Monday, August 8th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Roll call, Ms. Boyer.
Ms. Cato? Here. Mr. Hookrattle?
Here.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Shook?
Here.
And Dr. Walker?
Here. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Next, we have public participation at board meetings. This is where we allow time for folks to come up and address the Board of Education. Do we have anybody here wishing to address the board? Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. So if you could, you can sit there, Sherry. If you could just give us your name and your address, and then you can go through, what you'd want to.
Okay. I have a letter written that I have a copy for everyone, so I can do that.
Yep.
So my name is Sherry Rose England, and I live at 3571 Geiger Road. And my husband actually composed a letter today, which is what you're receiving. I will read it on his behalf since he is unable to be here today. Make sure I say it on the way I don't. Would you like one too, technician?
Sure.
Anybody else? So I'm here on behalf of the open enrollment status for the 4th grade at the elementary school. And so this is a letter that my husband composed today, so I'm reading it in his words and in his voice and for our whole family, I would suppose. So, dear Mr. Johnson, Mr. Harris, and members of the board, it's Mr. Harris. I'm a small business owner in the district. I was born in Baltimore and unfortunately only attended the schools for 3 years before my folks moved for work. My dad was born here. My grandmother was born and raised here. My twins have attended K-3 in your district and love it. We always support the district whenever we can. I'd like to start with a sad story. A story that was the trigger of me writing today. Yesterday, we took Beatrice and Theo to celebrate their birthday at Good Air in Pickerington. They each had 6 of their best friends there, friends that they've had since kindergarten. About a half hour into the 2-hour event, I noticed Theo in the party room, alone and obviously upset while his friends were elsewhere playing. He did not want to talk about it. Last night at bedtime, he told me what had happened. His friends spoke about how they hoped they were in each other's classrooms and the general excitement of soon seeing each other every day at school. While the boys were playing dodgeball, a couple of them decided it should be Liberty Union against anyone else who was there. They then told Theo that he couldn't be on their side as he was going to Millersport this fall. He was heartbroken to have his peers abandon him like that. And I know the boys, and I am positive that they did not mean to hurt his feelings. He was crushed. On July 26, less than 22 weeks ago, we were notified by phone that our children were denied open enrollment. Well, we were told that they may find out on the first day of school that there is room for them to enroll in Liberty Union. I cannot help but see a similar abandonment from the district. After accepting a child into open enrollment, you should do everything possible to keep them. I understand that when it comes down to it, the economics are important. It is great to accept students if you have open seats, as you get more funding from the state with little added expense. If you do not have open seats, while I am certain that no one feels good about the situation, it makes sense to cut your losses. Cut the numbers and try not to think about the social and psychological impact that you are having on those students that are being abandoned. I would like to suggest another way to look at the economics of the situation, a way that is fiscally responsible to the taxpayers in the district. My understanding is that there are 8 children with the possibility of not being able to open enroll. My wife was told that they would likely be able to re-enroll 5th grade and beyond. There is more flexibility due to the way the kids change classes throughout the day in the middle school and high school. It is likely that many parents of those 8 may not want to put their kids back through the trauma and switch districts again to return. In 2021, Liberty Union received $6,465.79 per pupil from the state of Ohio. My understanding is that the open enrolled students bring the same state funding. Over a 13-year period, and I realize that state funding is not static, I hope that it does increase, that is a total of $672,442.16. In 2021, the average teacher salary of Liberty Union was $59,051.62. With benefits, I am sure costs are much more, but obviously less than the $672,000. It seems that it would be in the best interest of the taxpayers, the open enrolled students, and the native students with better teacher-pupil ratio to hire an additional teacher, if necessary, to keep the 8 students in the district. Thank you for your consideration, Jason England. And thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else here to address the board?
Yep.
State your name, address, and
Joe Holland, first time caller, long time listener, 11869 Snyder Church Road. Those of you that don't know me, graduate of Liberty Union High School. I was here K through 12. I'm an active member in the community. I'm a member of the Parks and Rec Board, and I'm also the president of Baltimore Youth Baseball, local 501(c). We run out of Old Park. I'm here about middle school baseball. This is something that gets brought up over and over again. It's usually by a parent that has a kid in middle school baseball, and then it loses steam by the time they get done in that short 2-year time frame. I don't have a kid in middle school yet. I'm doing this on behalf of the board and some parents that have asked me about it. This year, Baltimore baseball had an outstanding 196 participants in the spring, and we're going to have about another 80 for our fall season. Baseball in this community has really taken off in the last couple of years. We've gotten momentum from some high school kids that have done great things, and we've got a gap in middle school. The gap's created by competition with other sports that kids want to play. They want to represent their school. Right now, if they play baseball, they're not necessarily representing their school because they're playing through our 501(c) in our club there. To have it a school-sanctioned sport, the kids would get to represent their school, and then there would be some opportunities, hopefully, with like transportation, scheduling, more legit-looking school uniforms, things like that. We compete with track and other sports just so they can say that they play for their school and in middle school. I don't know the steps, and that's what I'm looking for is guidance on how we could make this happen. I know that certain people, like I said, will go to different members of the school and say, what do I need to do? They'll go to the superintendent, the athletic director, the middle school principal, but trying to get everybody on the same page. I'm looking for guidance is what I'm looking for. We have coaches, we have a field, we have a facility. We're still willing to help as much as possible. I want to see these kids be able to play for a mid-state league title. Right now, they can be the best team in their league, but they're the only school in the mid-state league that isn't sanctioned for baseball. So or softball. So I'm not familiar with the softball aspects of it, but right now, if they have the best team in the league, they don't get to play for the league championship. So we can never have a mid-state league middle school title, even if we have the best team. And like I said, it was like 3 or 4 schools. I think Amanda wasn't sanctioned. I don't think Bern Union was sanctioned, but they've done that since, and now we're the only one left. The one thing we can provide is transportation. I believe with the amount of fundraising we do and the money we get with the community, if it was a budget problem the first year, I believe we could make some arrangements to help find funding for that. It's just a matter of logistics that I don't have. You know, like I said, we'd be more than happy, even if it was sanctioned. I realize it takes a little bit of time to get a baseball field put together. So even if it was a school sport, they probably wouldn't have a school field for a few years. We are more than happy to keep them out at the park and keep that going. We have a diamond out there that they play on. It's a 60-90 diamond, and we maintain that for the middle school. We do the grass, we do the field, we supply the lime for all that, and we're willing to help. We want to see the kids be able to play for a title, and we want to try to get rid of that gap between little league and high school. I know talking to the high school coach, he's told me that, you know, he has recruitment problems because he loses kids to track. And then when they get to high school, that's what they know, so that's what they sign up for in the spring. So they're graduating big classes of ball players and not bringing on very many to replace them. So I'd hate to take something that this community has learned to love in the last few years, and I'd hate to lose it. I said I got 196 ball players right now, and that's a whole lot of talent that, you know, they'll go other places and play. They'll go play travel ball. They'll do whatever they can to keep playing baseball. But it'd be real nice to see some of these class acts with the Liberty Union on their chest playing for us. So whatever guidance you can give me, whatever meetings we can have, whatever. I just want to see the kids play ball. It doesn't affect me personally yet. My kids are in 4th grade and 6th grade. It will affect me personally at some point, but, you know, rather than be a parent that tries to get momentum going in their kid's first year, skip that spring, their second year they didn't get it, so now they've lost interest and we start all over. So I know I've got a few years left in the organization for baseball, so see if we can make something happen. Thank you.
I know we don't spend a lot of time interacting with folks. I will say that if there's a board member that needs to have conversations around this, I'm happy to represent the Board of Education in any conversations. As you guys probably know, I was the middle school softball coach for, I think, almost 6 years. I've got thoughts around some of this. I think this has been a conversation topic that's come up in the past.
So when I coached, you know, I was coaching the Little League Baseball. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a couple of us on coaching it, so yeah.
So if I'm happy to continue having conversations with Mr. Holland, have conversations with the administration, just to see where this goes, because I understand what you're saying. I think there's a few things on the other side
You're right.
that come up. So I understand exactly what you're saying in that space. So any concerns for conversation? Okay. All right.
Your guidance is a sea hook rattle.
Yeah, we got it.
All right, next we have Shook's favorite part of the Board of Education meeting. So everybody just relax until he gets back there and has a conversation with Jan. But we've got refreshments. So we'll take about a 10-minute break and come back from refreshments to finish the meeting. If you're short on time, that would be a great time. This would be a great time to exit if you need to. So we'll take about a 10-minute break. Go back into the stack. All right, item 2, discussion and approval of the minutes. You've got the minutes from the July 11th, 2002 regular meeting in front of you.
Page 10.
Page 10, thank you. And so, do I have a motion to
So moved.
approve?
Second.
Motion by Sean Shook, seconded by John Walter, to approve the minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting as printed above. Any questions? Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookrattle.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Shook.
Yes.
Dr. Walter.
Yes.
Ms. Cato.
Yes.
Item 3, monthly financial. We will turn it over to you, Ms. Boyer.
We have our monthly financial report. Page 4. Our taxes were down, but the income tax was up. So there's a chart at the end of the report in regards to the income tax, but there's our difference in the revenue. On page 5, the fiscal year is only 8% complete, which is only 1 month. So we'll just have to continue to watch it. On page 6 is the expenditures. As we'd expect, the salaries and other expenses are up due to raises. Also, July was a 3-pay month, so that increased salaries even more. And for the other payments, that's partly due to the payment on the track, and textbooks were paid paid last month instead of in the month of August like they were last year. So that caused that increase. Page 8 is our interest, which has gone up more.
Whoa, it's nice.
Yeah, it's getting back there. Page 9, like I said, we're at 8% for the year. And then I told you most of the increases were the 3 pays in July. 80,000 was for textbooks that was paid in July instead of in August. And then on page 10 is the chart with the income tax. The last few lines show the first quarter payments from July 2019 through July of 2022. I just like to show what's been happening. And that's what I have for the report. Then you have our reconciliation. And then you have the bills that were paid. Page 2, just down a little, is 98781 to Meta Solutions. That was core fiscal services for $19,878.56. That came from the general fund. Down a little further, 98792 to USI Insurance Services. That's our property, liability, auto, and bus insurance. That was $49,267, and that came from the general fund. On page 3, down a little over halfway, 98815 to G&M Construction for $304,415.10. That was our third payment on the track. $182,649.06 came from the ESSER 3 ARP grant, and $121,766.04 came from the general fund. Right below that, 98816 by Buckeye Educational Systems for $22,400. That was for a laser cutter, and that came from the ESSER 2 grant. On page 4, about halfway down, 98839 to Linanex. That was for our Go Guardian license, and that was $15,964, and that came from the general fund. On page 5, towards the beginning, 98856 to Curriculum Associates for $40,465. That was for iReady, and that came from the general fund.
Is that a year?
Yes. Then on page 7, halfway down, 98921, Savas Learning Company, $65,691.71. That was for textbooks and professional development. That came from the general fund. And then down a little further, 98926 to McGraw-Hill Education. Alex, Access, which is our online math program at the middle school and high school, and that was for $16,498.50. Then you have our changes in appropriations for the 018 200s and 300s, and then our donations. $6,451.29 from LU Athletic Boosters. They had a golf outing, and that went to football. And $28 was from Book Fair to the elementary library. And that's what I have.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Sean Shook, seconded by Carol Cato to approve the monthly financial items as stated above. I don't see, it says with the exclusion of check, but I think that was last month.
Yes, it
Language.
was.
Cross that out.
Yep.
Yes.
Just as attached. All right.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Walter?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Hook-Rattle?
Yes. For new business financial, A is the permanent appropriations. This is the permanent appropriation adjustment. Ms. Boyd, is there anything to discuss there?
It's just putting them in line with what's coming in.
All right, do I have a motion to approve in a second?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Bill Moore, seconded by Sean Shook to approve items in the new business financial section.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Walter?
Yes.
Ms. Cato? Yes. Mr. Hook-Rattle?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
All right, new business personnel, A is employment. I will go ahead and read these. The name is Caitlin Ashbrook. This is the assistant principal at the elementary, a 2-year administrative contract effective August 11th, 2022. Nicole Hackett as an intervention specialist at the elementary, a 1-year limited contract, master's, step 6, August 1st, 2022. Christopher Hale, permanent daily substitute teacher at the high school, 1-year finite, effective August 15th, 2022 to May 26th, 2023. Teresa Nixon, intervention specialist, behavioral focused at the elementary, a 1-year limited MA 30, step 10, August 1st, 2022 effective date. Kaylee Putnam, first grade teacher at the elementary, 1-year limited BA step 0, effective August 1st, 2022. And Lacey Quayle, permanent daily substitute at the elementary, 1-year finite, effective August 15th, 2022 to May 26th, 2023.
Did you miss Holly Halen? Did you skip that one? Intervention specialist? I don't know if there's anybody listening.
That one was taken off.
Oh.
Did
Jeez.
you not have the new one?
Evidently not.
It was sitting there.
There you go. All right, B is resignations. We've got Kara Lahostit, an intervention specialist at the elementary. The resignation is effective July 15th. And Haley Richardson, an intervention specialist at the high school, with the resignation effective July 21st of this year. C is the certified contract revision. We've got Valerie Brokaw at the elementary middle school. Previously approved contract was master's step 6. Revised contract is master's step 10. Item D is the athletic supplemental. I will read these quickly. Tyler McManus, soccer volunteer boys. Jackson Smith, track varsity boys volunteer coach for shot put. Jared Shy as the girls head coach of soccer. Tracy Farmer as a faculty manager in the fall. Jackson Smith as the football varsity assistant coach. Cole Pearden as a football varsity assistant coach. Emily Powers as the fall volleyball volunteer 7th grade coach. Jessica Hersden as the volleyball coach in 7th grade. Mike Brunty as the softball varsity assistant coach, Tyler Bream as a basketball JV boys coach, Eric Smoleski as a fall faculty manager, and Cole Pearden as a track varsity assistant boys coach. We did, obviously it's August, so we got the certified substitute list, which has a plethora of names on it that we've seen, and then you've got the classified substitute list for, sorry, the first one was certified, yes, this one is the classified list. You'll see that list according, or read those names. Any questions on that information then before we go? All good? All right, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Carol Cato, seconded by Sean Shook to approve items in the new business personnel section. Ms. Bolger?
Dr. Walter?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
6 is new business other. A is a field trip out of state. This is for the FFA Big E competition for students qualified for this opportunity to represent Ohio at the event Environmental Natural Resources. The dates are September 15th through the 18th. This is transportation is covered by the FFA. The lodging is Boston, Massachusetts. The request is the cost of substitute for the instructor to attend and hotel expenses for the instructor. Recommend approval there. The next one in the same subject header is the National FFA Convention. Those dates are the 26th through the 29th of October. Transportation is provided by Pioneer Trails Charter Bus, lodgings in Indianapolis, Indiana. Chaperones will be parents and teachers. The cost approximately 48 students at $400, 2 teachers at $500 each. Cost of substitutes while instructors attend and hotel expenses for instructors. Recommend approval there. B is the locker room / restroom / concession building project proposal and resolution. Let's see, Dr. Johnson, is there anything we need to really talk through as a board prior to approving this particular?
Tony Shore has to give us some prices outside the contract, and he hasn't done that, but the resolution is written in such a way that you allow the superintendent to negotiate those.
Okay.
So I think we're going, provided you approve this tonight, we're gonna go out to the football area field and look at that site and do some preliminary kind of work.
And Shore is who we've used currently for the track project, correct?
Right, and the building that was built, the athletic building.
Yeah.
So he pretty much, he's a Lancaster graduate, grew up in Lancaster, he has an affiliation for this area. He likes to bid on the work out here. He's done all the work at Lancaster's, currently the architect on the new high school at Lancaster and just about every school district out here. So, and he's good to work with.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Sean Shook, seconded by Bill Moore to approve items in the new business other section. Ms. Boyer?
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Walter?
Yes.
7 is board policy, first reading. You've got JECE, which is the school admission residency affidavit, and that's the first reading. The file is attached. It was also in your email if you need to go over that again before next month's official voting. 8 is other matters as may properly come before the board. Are there any other matters before the Board of Education? All right, hearing none, we'll go to executive session. We do have an executive session requested by the superintendent for, what should we put this under? Dr. Johnson?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
A2 and E. Did we have a motion and second on this, or I miss it?
No, we haven't. Do we? I thought we usually say.
No, I'm talking about the new business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just missed it.
We're good there.
Dozed off.
A2 and
A2 and E? Okay.
Yeah, it's somewhere else.
No, it's at 8. We did. There was on Matty.
All right, we are going to head into executive session for items A2 and E. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by John Shook, seconded by Carol Cato to go into executive session for A2 and E at 7:40 p.m. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookrattle?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr.